Hi, I'm Eric Olson, Business Development Manager at Almo Pro AV. What we're showing you here is a very in-depth demonstration of Watchdog, which is an enterprise IoT monitoring platform, which essentially does asset monitoring and health status of your critical AV systems.
Here what we're demonstrating today is a few systems and giving kind of a command and control view of what most integrators could expect to see. Watchdog at its core is a simple kind of folder and file view where your folders are your various organizations, your files are your systems, and you can nest them in together. So here we set up for Almo E4, we have some different systems. This right here is this actual LG display where Watchdog is actually programmed into the LG display using its WebOS platform, so there's no additional co-processors required. Here's an AMX system we have back at the lab. We can do testing, and this portable light demo is the actual light that we show right here on the table, otherwise known as our new single pixel display. So what Watchdog can do as an enterprise IoT monitoring platform is it can monitor your various systems and it can determine what's in and out of range. So let's take this display for instance. We can go in here and we can see all kinds of information about this display. And we've actually programmed in to determine what might be in or out of range. So you can look at, here's the temperature. You can actually go and see reporting about the temperature. So if I go in here, I can see that, hey, 99.4% of the time, this is 95 degrees. So that's good. That's why I've never gotten a notification about that. I can actually go and see every time the temperature has changed. And this is actually very good from a forensic point of view, going back and trying to determine when there is a problem. There's of course all kinds of filters you can apply, so you can determine what day of week these things might happen. There's some kind of HVAC testing or something like this. Forensically, this kind of data is invaluable in helping determine in the long term what might be going wrong with your systems. But you can also have a supplemental control component. So right here with this volume, I've determined that any volume level over 50% is too high. So we're actually monitoring this, and you can see that I've turned the volume over 50%. Once the system actually detects it, it's going to actually go and it's going to create an alert. So right now we have that alert, and I can click on it and I can say, oh well, what's this problem? And I can actually see that we've determined that the volume is too loud. Now we could make a phone call and they could go and they could actually fix it, and without them having to call back, I'd actually be able to see that they fixed the problem, because once the display next checks in, it'll let you know there's no longer any problems with this system. But let's take that same issue. Let's say someone again raised the volume. You could call them, but you could also fix the problem yourself. So I'm going to go here and I have control of this system, and I can say, well, you know what, I want the volume at 40%. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to send this command, and the next time the display checks in with the system's actually going to let it know it has a supplemental control command, and it'll actually fix the volume for them without even having to make a phone call. And again, without them even having to talk with anybody, you'll notice there's not a problem anymore. So this is really good for, like, imagine a knock and a display in a service manager's office, keeping track of all the various assets that they have installed in place. We even here, it's important to note the kind of things that you can monitor. So at its core for AV integrators, we've developed modules for AMX, Crestron, and Extron. These are readily available for download from the website. But we also have a Python library that can be applied to any computer, whether it be a Windows computer or even a Raspberry Pi running Linux. So right here we have this portable light demo, and just to give people an idea of the versatility of this, we're actually monitoring the power consumption of a light bulb. This is using our Python library, and it's actually connected to a little mini PC back here. And right now we can monitor all kinds of things: the active power, apparent power, power frequency, you know, even the power factor, reactive power, things you just never imagine. But the thing we're interested in here is the power current. So I've determined that I want to make sure that this light bulb is on at just the right dim level. So I have it set where if you dim it too low, once the system actually sees, it'll actually issue a notification. And so right there we see, hey, wait a second, I have a problem. And I can see now that it's too low. And when I turn it back up, so imagine having one of these plugged into every rack, just monitoring the overall power consumption of your rack so you can know if the power profile of your entire AV system has changed. So the possibilities are really endless, and it's important to note that we designed this for AV integrators, and it was designed and programmed by AV programmers. So it was a very heavy lift, but we knew that we live in a new cloud world, so this was developed from the ground up to be cloud native. So this is powered by Google Cloud, the same thing that runs Google Docs and Google Hangouts and Angry Birds, and it's basically a whole distributed platform that spans the globe. So anywhere that you can see a Google Doc, you'll be able to use DGNet Watchdog. It's scalable to the quintillions, from 1 to whatever many systems. So basically an integrator doesn't have to wait for just that client that has enough systems. You could have a client that has a single important system, or you could have a university that has thousands of systems, and everything in between. There's no upfront cost. It's very easy to get started, and we're willing to work with any integrator to basically help them get started at no charge.